Hello there. I'm Derek Freed. I'm the pastor of House Churches at Renovation Church, and welcome to House Church. I know we recently have started having our fall springs, and with that can come thoughts of summer and warm weather and outdoor activities and all the great things about Minnesota summers. But don't let those thoughts keep you from coming. Don't let it feel like this year of House Church is almost done, so it's okay if I miss. Keep coming and keep engaging. This is that point of the year where relationships are good and established, and you can have really significant and meaningful conversations with your small group members. Now, this was our third week in our series, The Authority of Jesus, and we looked at the authority of teaching, looking specifically at the response that people had to Jesus following the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7, 28-29, where it says, "When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law." The people could tell that there was something different about the teaching of Jesus, the authority in it. It was different than anything else they were hearing, even from what they were hearing from their current teachers of the law, their human authority figures. And I think more so in our time today than in those days, there are a lot of voices in the world, and most of them want your attention and your time. And many of them want your allegiance. So one of the biggest decisions we have in our lives is to decide which voices we listen to and which ones we decide to follow. Which voices we give the authority in our lives to teach us and direct us. But we need to be incredibly careful because those decisions will profoundly impact the trajectory of our lives. So, who are you going to give the authority to teach to? And I think what can really help us here is to look again at what Jesus says right before this in verses 24-27. "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash." If you give the authority to teach you to the voices of this world, there will come a time when what they say won't last. They won't stand the test of time, and ultimately, they will come crashing down. I mean, just look at the world. There's a new way of thinking or how you should live popping up all the time. Why? Because outside of Jesus, they don't last. But with Jesus, his way never fades. It never crashes. It stands the test of time. So who are you going to listen to? Something temporary that will eventually fail? Or Jesus, who is eternal, knows all things, and has already made the way and taught us the path that will never fail? I pray you have an amazing time in your small groups. Amen.